Hey Jonathan, how you doing?
How are you?
Good. How do you see this team responding back on the practice field the last couple of days?
Obviously it was upsetting with the loss and everything, but we just took it as an opportunity to learn from what we did on the field the past Saturday, and just learn from the mistakes we made, and just looking forward to the future. Sweet.
As part of your position group, what's one of the main things you learned from Saturday, and how's that going to help you moving forward?
Yeah, just focusing on the little things and the mental areas, and just focus on the little things so the bigger things will take care of themselves, I would say.
Obviously, it's a little bit of a different offense with Indiana than it was with Minnesota, but they like to spread you out, that sort of thing. Did some of the things that Minnesota do in terms of like route tree and that kind of stuff help you? Do you think with defending what Indiana does?
Yeah, I mean, we know Indiana's going to come in here and throw the ball because they're a passing team, they're passing offense, and we've been preparing for that all week with the scout team's been doing a great job giving us the right looks and all that. So from the mistakes that we learned from this past weekend, we bring it into this week and just learn from it and help us prepare for this next game.
How does your role change week to week, going from a game versus like Minnesota and your skill set, being physical in the running game as a safety, to this week? Does your role change at all, or is it kind of just you playing that position in the game?
I mean, my role has been pretty consistent the whole year as far as special teams and then just getting reps on defense and doing whatever I can to contribute. So.
Jonathan, James pointed out I mentioned it, but he confirmed that Joey Porter Jr. is a guy who's been on the ascension over the course of the season, improving. What do you see from Joey on the practice field? I know he got to travel with you guys last week. He's going to redshirt, but what are we not seeing that you get a chance to see every day?
I mean, he's real athletic and has good size, and he comes out to practice every day with a competitive mindset, and he likes to compete.
So we'll be talking to safety coach Tim Banks tomorrow. What can you tell us about him? How has he helped you get better, and what's kind of his attitude on the field? Is he a fiery guy? Is he quiet? What's the dynamic there?
Coach Banks is a guy who focuses a lot on the details and holds us to a high standard. So that's as far as meeting rooms on the practice field or within games. So he holds us to a high standards, and he preaches the details to us. So
obviously, you guys go with the 1-0 mentality every week. After last week, obviously Minnesota did do pretty well through the air against you guys.
Yeah.
Does that linger any longer? Is it tougher to maybe put behind you or anything like that?
I mean, it's all gone. It's not dealing with Indiana. We're really not focusing on it anymore. Like I said, we went through the mistakes and the corrections. We learned from it, and now we've just been moving on. So.
Jonathan, penalties in the return game have been a little bit of an issue. How do you guys go about tightening that up, and does Coach Lorig take specific steps or are there specific things that he does in terms of instruction to get you where you need to be?
Yeah, so Coach Lorig has two main points that we repeat every day in practice and in the meetings. It's own the ball and no penalties, and we translate that to the field on practice, where we just work on anti-clip techniques so we can avoid those penalties in the game, and we've just been focusing on them throughout all the practice. So hopefully that translates to the field.
Go ahead.
When you sat down to watch film for the first time this week on Indiana, what were your first impressions of the passing offense?
That they like to spread the defense out a lot. They jump into empty and 0-0 personnel, and they just like to sling the ball out there. So.
Did anything surprise you? Is there anything maybe that you haven't seen, yet this season that they do? Anything unique?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Jonathan, how gratifying was it to see internally and externally everyone rally around you when you get that horrible letter earlier this year?
Yeah, it was great just receiving all the support I did, but I haven't really been focusing on that too much. As long as if it has nothing to do with Indiana, then I haven't really been focused on it. But it was real great knowing that I had a whole lot of support. So.
Anything else for Jonathan?
Jonathan, PJ told us yesterday that in the post-game locker room session at Minneapolis that Franklin made it a point to address Sean Clifford in front of the entire locker room. Do you think that's important for him to do? Do you think that we saw Sean, he was pretty devastated after the game. How do you think he personally has carried himself as coming off of his first loss as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, Sean's a real competitive guy, and as it hurt us all, it definitely hurt him as well. And he had our support, Coach Franklin's support, and we just rounded around all each other and just gave each other support and just heading into this next week. So.